Hello Starseeds and Witchlings, this is Saraluna. Welcome to another video. This reading on what you don't see is going to be split up in 3 different parts. The amazing tarot reader Kino Tarot did this in one of her previous readings, and I was so amazed by the idea that I wanted to try this out myself. So we are answering what you don't see in love, in your career, and what you don't see coming. Something unexpected coming towards you, basically. You can use this reading however you like. You can watch just one part or all 3. Maybe you want to watch 2 love ones, 1 career one. That's totally fine. Mix it up. There are timestamps below so you can scroll down and go directly to your chosen reading. We also have an extended on Patreon. On Patreon, we're going to take a look in the love line. We're going to take a look at what do they love about you, business, what's happening for you, and in the something unexpected row, we're going to take a look at your next big blessings. And now let's take a look at your options. Starting with the love row, what we have is the Kambaba Jasper pile. We have the Brecciated Jasper pile. I didn't notice that I used so many Jaspers, but I noticed just now. And we have the Rose Quartz pile. Then for the career row, we have a piece of Moss Agate. Then we have Blue Spot Jasper. Yeah, I looked this one up. We have Blue Spot Jasper. Then we have Carnelian. And then for the something unexpected coming towards you row, we have Mahogany Jasper. That's the last Jasper for today, I promise. Then we have a piece of Amethyst. And then we have Malachite. What you don't see in love, what you don't see in your career, and what you don't see coming towards you. See you in your reading. As always, take all the time you need. You can pause the video to choose. You can come back here and choose anew anytime. This reading is timeless. There are no rules, no right or wrong, only what feels right to you. So while you choose, I'll get started and I'll see you in your reading. Welcome in. Thank you so very much for being here. Pile number 1. This is the love pile, the first love pile. What you don't see coming, what you don't see, unexpected changes. So this is the Kambaba Jasper pile, and I'm going to put your beautiful crystal here. So let's take a look at what you don't see when it comes to your love life currently. Maybe there's something that you need to see that you don't. So we're going to take a look at that together. Okay, so pile number 1 for love. What don't you see? What don't you see? Thank you. Thank you. I'm leaving it like that. Oh, wow. Okay. What don't you see? Thank you so much. Okay. So let's take a look at that. We do have the Empress in reverse with Earth and Venus energy. The card says opening to communication, groups, and growth, and it is in reverse. Then we do have the Five of Pentacles with Earth and Taurus energy. It says energy of the unexpected, conflict, strife, and movement. The Five of Pentacles is also in reverse. The Ace of Wands with take action on your ideas is in the upright with fire energy. Then we have the High Priestess with water and moon energy, also in the reverse with the balance of opposites in decisions. And I find it very interesting that this card didn't want to turn around. It's shy. It's a Seven of Wands. There may be challenges ahead. You can face them. Okay, and this card decided not to turn around. So I'm going to take this into consideration when reading your cards, because I always put a lot of attention to these details. Details such as how do the cards shuffle and how do they come out and how do they feel when I shuffle them. So I try to communicate that the best I can. Sometimes I don't have the words. So when it comes to your love life, what you don't see is we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and the first thing I hear is this song from Sia that goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, and it's the first thing I hear here. I feel like you're very close to I'm looking for a kinder word than the word that came up. The word that came up was mental breakdown, but I don't want to be dramatic. You're close to breaking point. This is what I feel. It's kind of like you really, when therapists say count to 10, and if it's still a problem, then count to 10 again. I don't know if therapists say that, but it's kind of like an anger management thing, isn't it? I think it is. I saw it in a television program, and it's like count to 10 and then count to 10 again. It was on Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix, and she had been through something very traumatic, and she would always count to 10 because you can always make it to 10, and then she would count to 10 again, and that was her entire life. Let me also take a look at the back of the deck for you. Okay, we have disorganization and chaos with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse at the back of the deck. And also with impatience and, feeling like there's never a reward. Okay, so you're working very hard. Whether this is a career thing or self-employment. Oh, self-employment is also a career. My apologies. You're working very hard. It could also be, if you're not employed, it could be that you're simply working very hard on yourself, which is just as difficult and just as honorable. And I feel like you're working very hard on yourself. You're working very hard in your career. It's a constantly doing something to better yourself or to better the situation kind of energy. And there's so much you want to do. You have so much inspiration. But there is so much you have to overcome first. And I feel like the person on your side, what you don't see is that they're a little bit ignorant of what it is that it is important to you. Like they have their own problems right now, and they have gone through their own bullshit, and they have gone through severe toil, and they're now in a recovery energy. And so they're kind of ignorant to what's important to you right now, what you're going through right now. So while you are really hustling and struggling, and trying to get so many things done and listening to businesswoman, businessman, business person, podcasts and whatnot, this person is just in survival mode. It's kind of like you want to thrive, but this person is focused on surviving right now. They also have a lack of concentration and inspiration at the moment. Like they're really just surviving, and they cannot concentrate on what is important to you right now. And it's kind of, you're really, really close to a breaking point. You're really close to losing all your inspiration, because this person is kind of dragging you down with them. Like all their, I don't want to say negativity because I don't want to judge, but all their, I also don't want to say low energy because that's also so judgmental. the vibe that they're in right now, the energy that they're in right now, it's the frequency, it's not very beneficial to you right now. It's kind of pulling you with it and draining a lot of your energy. And it's kind of they're depending on you to work, because otherwise there would be a standstill. So you are working like a machine, you're working, but the second you malfunction, so to speak, the whole factory would go down, namely the relationship. I don't blame this person. We've all been in survival mode at some point in our lives. This person means no harm. But it's important to understand that what you don't see is that right now this person is bringing a lot of chaos to your life, and you wish to have it all organized, and you wish to have it all, like you've worked so hard for rewards and you're ready for those now, and they are completely ignorant to that, not out of malicious intents, but simply because they are, while you are struggling to persevere, they're struggling to breathe, It's kind of like they're not lazy, they're in survival mode. So you're in completely two different chapters in your life right now. And because they are high masking, I don't think that if you don't really take a really close look, you would notice they're very high masking. It could be because they've always done that in their childhood as well, maybe. So this is just what they do when they feel bad. They don't deal with it. They just mask and try to move on, quote unquote, just like we're being taught. And it's not working too well right now. They're not feeling too hot right now. And it's really important to note that there is no malicious intent here. But what you don't see right now is that they're on a completely different page in the love book as you are at the moment. You are persevering, you are striving to thrive, and they are, while you struggle to persevere, they are struggling to survive. Like you're both swimming and you want to reach the island, and they just don't want to drown. And if that means that they let you drag them with they let you drag them with you to the island, then that's fine. But they don't particularly want to the island. They just don't want to drown. Sorry for the metaphor. It's just what I see in front of my mind's eye right now. I just see that image, and it's like, I feel like you needed to hear this because you thought that it had something to do with you. But it doesn't. They're in survival mode because something is going on in their life right now, and they feel like they're alone with it. They're recovering right now, and they're very determined to regain balance, to regain control of their life. But right now, while they're in recovery mode, they really just want to survive. And I feel like maybe you took it personally. Like they're not going to places with you anymore. They're not having fun like they used to, they're just always in survival mode, maybe in a blanket fort on the couch and not moving, and maybe you took it personally. So I feel like this reading was important for you, because what you don't see is that it has nothing to do with you. There isn't less love or a lack of anything. It's just their mental health and them personally struggling to survive right now, but they don't love you less. So I feel like that was really important for you to hear. In the extended, we're also going to take a look at what do they love about you. So if you would like to stick around for that in the extended on Patreon, the link is down below. And other than that, see you in another love reading, in a career one, or in a something unexpected coming your way reading. You have so many to choose today. See you in your reading. Goodbye. Welcome in love pile number 2. Thank you so very much for being here. You chose the Brecciated Jasper. It's beautiful. And I'm going to put your crystal right here. Look, the sun came out for your reading. I love it. So let's take a look. What don't you see when it comes to love? Pile number 2, the Brecciated Jasper pile. What don't you see when it comes to love? Interesting that your cards come out so that I can't see them. I always take into consideration how the cards shuffle, how they come out, how they feel when they shuffle. So I find it very interesting that your cards, they clearly want to be drawn, but they don't show themselves yet. So that's interesting, and I'm going to take it into consideration of your reading. Okay, that is very interesting. So the question is what you don't see when it comes to love. And honestly, I feel like the 2 cards that do show themselves, that is what you see. And the other cards, that is what you don't see. And Spirit is like, but only in this context will it make sense for you, you know? So I feel like this is why you're here, because you only see this. And Spirit is like, oh yeah, no wonder you're here. You don't know the context. You're here for context. So you're here for these 3 cards so that these 2 are going to make sense for you, you know? So I feel like this is a pile of people who are here for some sort of confirmation because they already know some part of what they don't see. Like they already know that they already kind of feel this. But only in this context is it going to make sense. So I feel like this is going to be one of those readings, you know. That's what I feel here. Okay, that was really sweet. I have to post a video because my dog came in and she was talking to me. So that's interesting. It's like maybe you do get signs from the universe, but you don't understand them. And you're like, I'm listening, but I don't get it. So yeah, that could be for you. Okay, so what you already see, but it doesn't make sense yet, which is why you're here, is the Temperance card and in upright and the Queen of Swords in reverse. With the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Temperance in upright, it feels like you do know that there is a divine plan. It feels like you do know that this is something you've been working on, like you've worked on this love connection, and it's kind of a divine timing thing where everything clicked into place and it just made sense for you and you were like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is meant to be. But now it feels kind of stagnant, and Spirit is like, that's because there are more steps to go through, but just not yet. It's kind of like an energy of you're lying in wait and you might feel a little bit impatient, because this also indicates a kind of an emotional imbalance, an imbalance where I don't want to use the word disappointed, but it's kind of like when you get your hopes up and then nothing happens, you know, and then you're stagnant and then you're in wait. Because you do feel, I think that's what you feel. You feel that there are more steps to go through. You just don't know when it's going to happen. Like, when are we going to take the next step to move in together? When are we going to take the next step to, you know, meet the parents? When are we going to take the next step and finally talk about this one problem? And it's kind of like it's a turmoil within you, an emotional turmoil, that no matter how well it's going at the moment, this little beast that you see here is always deep within and is always lurking, and it's always like, yeah, but do you remember? We're still waiting for this and that to happen. It's kind of like there are expectations on your part, and you want to know when they're going to be fulfilled. There are more steps to go through, and you want to know when that's finally going to happen. This is what you don't see in your love life at the moment. These next steps. You have been diligent and you have been patient and you want to know when it's finally going to happen. Could also be that some of you are waiting for a proposal or Some of you are waiting for the other person to finally show up at couples therapy. You know, it's you waiting on something and you're waiting for it to finally come to pass. So let's take a look at those three. We have the Nine of Cups in upright. We have the Tower card in upright. Oh, and I have to show this really up close because it's one of the most beautiful Tower cards I've ever seen. I don't know if I said in the beginning, but you chose the last Unicorn Tarot. It's one of my favorites. And then we also have the Page of Coins. I had to put this really close to my face to read it. Deep Page of Coins in upright. And I find that very interesting that the font is the same everywhere, but with this one I had trouble reading it. So it's kind of like this is what you really don't see. Okay, so you have two major arcanas in your reading, like this, and I'm so sorry for the word pun, but for me, when major arcanas turn up in a reading, it always means that this really is a major topic in your life right now. So that's what it means to me. It's how I read it. Major arcanas are major, so that's how I read it. What you don't see is that this is all gonna change. This stagnancy, this waiting, this emotional dis-ease and imbalance of feeling sick to the stomach from waiting, you know, from hoping, from being in this constant state of when is it finally going to happen, you know? And it's kind of it's making you feel uncomfortable. And really, you know that feeling in your stomach when the elevator drops, like when you're in the lift and it drops, that is kind of the physical equivalent to how you emotionally feel right now. And that's going to end. That's all going to end. Because if we read the tarot cards quite literally here, this is all going to end because there's going to be this very big upheaval through which you will succeed and get this general sense of fulfillment. This is what the cards literally mean. Without the channeling part, just the literal meaning of the tarot cards. And I find this beautiful, but of course we're going to get into this a little deeper, but I find this beautiful that the cards in your reading, they're very literal and they speak very clearly. They turned around what you already know, they showed what you already know, they turned around what you're waiting to know. Your guides, they communicate very forthcoming, like they're very forthcoming. It's beautiful to read for you. I don't know what will cause this upheaval, but I do think with the Page of Coins and the Nine of Cups here, I do think that you are going to be very straightforward with the other person. And I do not mean forceful or pushy. With straightforward, I just mean a lot of honesty coming from you. You're telling them that you know that they have a lot to choose from, that there's a lot going on in their life right now, and that they're emotionally, they feel emotionally drained at the moment, and that you understand that, but that they need to let you be there for them. And then you undermine that statement by showing up. You are a doer. You don't just talk, you show up. And you are successful when you show up. You're really good at managing, at making to-do lists, at making post-it notes with affirmations to build the other person up and yourself too. You are going to show up, and this is going to have this stagnant energy crumble. Because you show up as a team, you're there for each other, and that's going to have the stagnant energy crumble, and then you can finally reach these next steps that you wish to go through in this connection, whether that is moving in together or whether that is a proposal or whatever the next steps are for you. this stagnancy crumbles. The stagnancy that you're in right now crumbles the second you show up for each other, and the second you have an honest conversation about this. Because a person is allowed to feel emotionally drained from, for example, their job, their living situation, whatever it is. It doesn't have to have anything to do with you. In fact, it really doesn't. They're allowed to feel that way, of course, but you're also allowed to make clear that you want to help. You want to get them out of this look of this, sitting there, peeling the potatoes, staring into space, while you're like, I got some new lingerie. They're peeling the potatoes. Life is a lot for them right now. And the second you show up and tell them that you understand how they feel, and that you want to be there for them, and that you really have legit ideas on how to help. Like you don't just show up with words, you show up with actions. With page of coins, you show up with actions. And with the page of coins, you also make it clear that you're not a professional in the field, but you come in with a lot of good ideas, and you can actually help them and aid them and lift them up. And that crumbles their stagnancy, their fear, this emotionally drained energy, that crumbles that. And because that crumbles, the both of you will have more time for things that you really wanted to talk about. You know, the two of you, the both of you. It's kind of like adulting is standing in your way at the moment. And what you don't see is that you have the power to have that crumble to its core, because you show up. Maybe right now you have all these ideas, but you feel like, yeah, I'm not good at this. This isn't even my field to talk about. I don't know if I can help them. Yes, you can. You can. You will be successful. You roll in with all these ideas, with all this support that you wish to give to them. You roll in on your white horse. And I didn't say ride in, but roll in. And I don't know why. Maybe that means something to some of you. And it's not like you have all the answers, but the mere fact that you want to help, the mere fact that you do show up is reason enough for them not to feel so alone anymore, and for them to open up. And I find it so crazy. You have the Three of Cups at the back of the deck. You have your celebration. You are going to celebrate in the end. This is going to be so beautiful. And this card was at the back of the deck before I started shuffling, because I love looking at which card is on the back of the deck before I start shuffling, and it was this card, and you saw me shuffle. So this is really cute. Spirit really wanted to get this message across, no matter how long I shuffle the cards. Your reading has Three of Cups energy. There is going to be so much to celebrate about. Do not be shy about letting this person know what you can do for them. All the ideas that you have so many innovative ideas, and this is what they need. They need to not feel alone at the moment. They don't need expert advice. It's okay that you're not an expert in the field. That's not what they're looking for. What they do need is someone who shows them, hey, I show up for you. You're not alone, and I completely understand that you're emotionally drained at the moment, that you feel stagnant, that you feel stuck. I have this and this and this idea. And that's going to make all their worries crumble, because they finally realize, even if they still don't have all the answers, at least they don't have to figure it out for themselves, and that makes them feel celebratory. They realize, yeah, we're a team and we got this, maybe you have a fur baby with the unicorn here. In the Extended on Patreon, we're going to take a look at what do they love about you. So if you're interested in that, see you on Patreon. And other than that, have so much fun choosing other piles as well. And congrats to you for helping your loved one out of the sticky situation. Sometimes we're all trapped a little bit in our heads, and your person is lucky to have you. Thank you so very much for being here. See you in your next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. This is the love pile number 3, the rose quartz pile. This is the crystal that you chose, and I'm going to put it right here. You chose the Golden Girls Tarot deck. I don't know if you watched the television program. Let me just adjust your crystal. I'm sorry. So, I don't know if you watched the television program, but this is the Golden Girls Tarot. We're going to take a look at what you don't see when it comes to your love life. What you don't see when it comes to love. Thank you so much for being here. Let's take a look. The Rose Quartz pile number 3. What don't you see when it comes to love? Oh, okay. I absolutely love this depiction of the Four of Cups. I've never pulled this card in this deck before. I'm thrilled. Okay, I find it very interesting that you only have upright cards. In the previous reading, we had so many in reverse. So I find this in context, I find this very interesting. So let's take a look. What don't you see when it comes to love? We do have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Strength card. So we have 2 major arcanas because we also have, sorry, I burped. We also have Death. I burp when I channel. With the Four of Cups and the Queen of Wands as well. So I also will take a look at the back of the deck. I just wanted to do that. That's why my hand flew over there, but not yet, not yet. Doesn't feel right yet. We're going to take a look at these cards first. So let me quickly take a drink. What you don't see when it comes to love is just because things are changing right now, and they're changing profoundly. There is the end of a cycle, so maybe you ended a relationship and you are now in a completely new relationship, because this depicts the end of something and the beginning of something new. So this could mean you're starting a new relationship after you ended one. It could also mean that you start a new chapter in your relationship after you ended an old chapter in your current relationship, you know. But there is something new happening, and it is making you feel fulfilled. It is making you feel very courageous. It is making you feel like stepping into your energy, you know. With Scorpio energy here as well, and Leo energy for those who take a look at correspondences and take a look at their houses after readings. You are in a transition moment, you know. You're in this moment of letting something go that doesn't serve you anymore. And then in turn, taking something up that makes you feel more comfortable in your skin. This is really the energy of either a couple therapy or you don't have to go to professional couples therapy, you know. It could be the couples therapy, yes, but it could also be that you simply had a talk, or that there's something you are letting go so you can step more into your power. And I really like that for you. This is giving you so much energy. I don't know what it is, but it's giving you Queen of Wands. I mean, this is giving you so much energy. You are bursting with energy and with new ideas. We also have Moon in Cancer with the Four of Cups, by the way. You felt overly cynical. You felt like nothing would work out for you anymore. You felt overly cynical. And then you dared to make this change, you know. And now you have this newfound wealth in your love life. This could be couples therapy. It could be that you started taking some sort of medication because, you know, struggling with depression, anxiety, and you started to adjust your medication or take some medication, and now your life looks differently, you know. Could be that. Or could be that simply a very big stressor fell away. This big stressor could be finally finishing your studies at university, or finally giving up that terrible job that took all your energy, you know. There is something that you let go in your life, and now you're in this beautiful transitioning period of feeling cynical, feeling like the world is out to get you, to realizing that you have this newfound energy and you can get shit done. It's like things finally make sense and things finally feel right again in your love life. I don't know what that is that you let go. It could also be that you let go of expectations of other people. But I don't know what it is that you let go, but it was such an incredible decision. It was a great decision. You have this very balanced giving and receiving energy in your relationship now, you share how you feel, but you also share what you have, it's kind of this good windfall energy in your relationship where you finally feel rooted in your energy again. And you feel completely fired up to make things work again. You're like, oh my gosh, sorry, I burped on my channel. Oh my gosh, I have all this energy now and I can take on the world. This is kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. You might have gotten a promotion. I know I said maybe you'll let go of a toxic job. This could also be, but the Queen of Wands sometimes speaks of promotions because she's a go-getter. So maybe that's it. You just have more money and you're on your hands right now, so you finally have more time for your loved one. That's what you don't see. Your reading is so full of energy. I feel like you grabbed me from my couch here, and you grabbed me and you dragged me to a how's it called? A road trip. That's how it feels like, your energy. It's like no time to think, no time to read the card, just feel the feelings. So I'm just sitting here being completely overwhelmed by this beautiful feeling of the world is ours. It's beautiful, but it's overwhelming to read. It's like you're so happy. What you don't see in love is that, I'm going to sum it up for you. After being overwhelmed, what you don't see in love is that the problem was never the relationship. The problem were all the things around you. Not enough money, not the right energy at work, not the right landlord or landlady, not the right support when it comes to family and friends, stuff like that. But it wasn't the relationship. And it feels like now that you've received a good windfall, now that you've got a break from that, some of you through promotion, some of you through leaving a toxic job behind, for example, you are now in this beautiful transition period where you finally have time for your loved one again, where you finally can grow together again. And you can... Look at that, you go out and you buy them something pretty because you finally can afford it. You finally take the time, you finally have the time, you're finally not stuck in a stuffy office building anymore, It's kind of like, I need to sneeze. More confirmation coming up. This person is going to be so happy and you're going to feel so fulfilled as well, because it is incredibly lovely when you figure out that the relationship wasn't the problem. What was the problem is that you didn't have time for it. It's kind of like you simply didn't have the time to invest, and it made you feel so incredibly cynical. But what you don't see is that it wasn't the relationship that was the problem. It was everything around it. You didn't have the inner calm that was needed to spend time with this person and on this person, to invest time into this. And I really feel an energy here of it wasn't the relationship's fault, and you know that. But what you don't see is that this windfall is coming. And I really feel that for most of you, this is job related. So it's either a promotion or a leaving of a job situation that is not beneficial and that took so much time and energy from your relationship. And on the back of the deck, we have the star. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it. This person is your star and you are theirs, and we have Aquarius energy here. You have such an innovative energy. Maybe you're leaving your job in order to be self-employed. This is also the case for some of you with the star energy added here. But it's definitely a job situation that was incredibly stressful, and that took a toll on your connection, on your love connection. It really took a toll on it. And what you don't see is that the second it falls away, it's time for you to shine. It's time for you to enjoy life. And it's time for you to finally settle down again and, feel comfortable in your skin, feel comfortable in this connection, in this relationship. There is so much you finally get to do. And this reading promises you more time with the person you love. It's kind of like this despair that you felt from not having enough time and really wanting to be with this person you love. It's going to be, I'm sorry, that was my ring against the table. Is going to be turned into hope the second you let go of this huge stressor, the second you step into this transition energy. And it really transforms your cynical energy into a go-getter energy. Now finally I have the time and I have regained my hope, my faith, my purpose. This is a huge renewal energy. It's an innovative energy. It's an energy of rejuvenation. It's kind of like this decision of yours breathes new life into your connection. It breathes new life into your love connection. It's a fresh wind, so to say, in your love connection. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so very much for letting me read for you. Please don't forget to like and comment and follow, subscribe if you feel like it. And we also have a extended of this reading on Patreon. We're going to take a look at what do they love about you. So if you would like to watch this pile in the extended as well, we're going to see each other there. And other than that, we're going to see each other in the next reading. Thank you so much for being here, and goodbye. Welcome in pile number 4, and thank you so very much for being here. You are the Moss Agate pile, and it is our first career reading. I'm going to put your crystal right here. You chose, I didn't mention the decks in the intro, so I'm going to let you know, you chose the Office Tarot from the American version of the television program The Office. That's why the back of the card reads World's Best Boss. So it's interesting that you chose that as your career reading. Maybe you are world's best boss, or you are aspiring to be. So let's take a look at what you don't see when it comes to your career, when it comes to your business endeavors. Let's take a look. So our Moss Agate pile, what don't they see when it comes to their career? Thank you. What don't they see when it comes to their career? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and thank you. We're also going to take a look at the back of the deck. Let me just quickly make space. At the back of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the Devil in your reading. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Hanged Man, the Six of Wands, and the Five of Swords. And other than some of the other piles that we've had so far, you do not have any cards in reverse. You only have them in the upright, which is very interesting. And like I mentioned in the other piles, I take into consideration how piles shuffle, how the cards come out, and how the shuffle feels. So this all is part of the reading as well. So let's take a look at what you don't see in your career. What you don't see, I mean, I find it very interesting that you have the Four of Pentacles at the back of your deck. which is basically telling you to not try to force things to happen and to not try to hold on to things. Because sometimes we're so very much in love with our routine or with how we're used to things happening, that we kind of block ourselves to things that wish to come in for us, things that would be better for us, that would be more beneficial, but we block ourselves because we want things to happen a certain way and not in any other way. So definitely had to put the back of the deck here, and it's part of the reading as well. It's kind of like this love for routine that makes it a little bit difficult for you to open up. I also want to say that there is a situation in your career that you're a little bit done with. You're a little bit overwhelmed is not the right word. It's just you're overwhelmed. It's a lot. And as long as you're focusing on the situation that is really bugging you, that is really scratching at the inside of your skull, I'm so sorry for wording it this way. This is how it came up. It is very difficult to think of the future as long as this is preoccupying you. And Spirit wants you to know that when the Five of Swords does come up, it's always important to remember that you ought to consider situations before you do something, because whatever it is that you want to do, you might regret it. It's kind of like getting into a conflict with someone because you know you're right and you know that other person is a douchebag. But then in the end, yes, you were right. But what were the consequences of that? Now the energy between the two of you is irreparably broken and it's just not the same coming to work anymore. So was it really worth it, you know? So that's definitely what you're being cautioned about here. It could also be that already happened and now you are in this really uncomfortable situation where every time you see this coworker at work, it's just awkward and it didn't used to be this way. On the other hand, you have a great time at work. It's kind of like you adhere to your routine and you're hanging in there, and maybe you even got a promotion not too long ago. With the Hanged One, we have Neptune and Pisces energy here, and with the Devil, we have Capricorn energy here. So just in case you would like to take a look at your placements. It's kind of like you try to think big picture at work. You try to really have it all on your screen. Like you try to think big picture. But what's really getting in the way and holding you back are those whispers in your ears that are telling you nobody actually likes me. And you tend to take a lot of things at work personally, even though they were not about you to begin with. And that makes things rather difficult at work for you. And you really feel like you lost a connection to a person. Like you really, like look at you're crying in your car before you get into work. You really have this feeling that you lost someone through an argument. Like you wanted to stand your ground. You wanted to be the one who has their big boy pants on, so to speak. And it really went south. So very much so that you really have the feeling you lost a valuable connection to another person for good. I really hear there's something that was destroyed. And Spirit is letting you know that it's okay to feel defeated and to mourn and to be sad about this. Sadness is always part of the process. Like we tend to push sadness away. But something that our child or children selves knew when we were little was that crying is good. You know, when you're sad, throw yourself on the ground and cry. Not in public. You know, this is what kids do. They throw themselves on the ground and they cry and they let it all out. And then when they feel better, they get up again. And very often the facial expressions change from 1 second to the other. It's just dun dun, you know, because they had to get it all out and now they're fine again. And we unlearn that as adults. So Spirit is coming in here to let you know that sadness is part of the process, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad about it. I can't tell you whether this connection is salvageable, whether you can mend things between you guys again. What I definitely feel is that you have a boss that is very happy when their coworkers aren't working together. Like when you guys are unsure, oh, I don't know whether my coworker likes me, and when you're sitting outside crying in your car because you lost a connection, you lost a friendship at work, your boss is definitely celebrating that. Like he feels more powerful the more divided you guys are. So that's definitely something I'm getting here. And I also feel that you're trying to make the workplace a special place for everyone. You want everyone to feel special, and you do little games and little things at work, and you're really trying your best. But I don't know how to say this without being rude. I'm just gonna say it, and I apologize in advance. You are not self-reflecting that much. And sometimes being a leader means being honest about what you're not good at. And I feel like this tiff with this person wouldn't have happened if you would have been honest about the fact that there are things that you're not good at. So I feel like you're in some sort of managing position, and you're trying to make the boss happy. You want him to celebrate all the time, but it makes your coworkers and you very unhappy. So it's kind of like you chose the wrong side, and you're clutching to it because it is paying your bills and it is part of your routine now, and you don't want to have to give up the things that you got from your boss and that make you very, very happy. And siding with your coworkers again could make all of those bonuses, all of those things go away. But you are trying your best for everyone to be happy, but it's kind of like you're the hanged man here, hanging upside down, and the special sauce that you brought to work is running out, and nobody has anything of it because you're so overworked. You're burning the candle on both ends is what I hear. And also, I mentioned it before, we have Neptune and Pisces energy here. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. It's kind of like you're hanging on your last thread. You're working on your last nerve. It's kind of like a working towards burnout energy here. You have this little child in your head that is running around, and it is not letting you be passive, and that is not letting you surrender and pausing, and that is not letting you just enjoy things happening. And that could not only be detrimental to your health, but that is rushing towards burnout. That is what that is. And I feel like that you don't see that. You think everything is going smoothly, and you're stuck in your routine, and you're clutching to it, and you're rushing from one day to the next. But what you don't see is that you leave a lot of very unhappy coworkers behind. Maybe a lot of them have already quit, and there's a lot of new people around now. And it's like you kind of lost the overview of things. It's kind of like you're on a mountain and you're looking at everything, and you don't really see the valley, but you're like, the valley is fine. But if you were to walk into the valley, you'd see everything's on fire. So I feel like you're very far away from your coworkers. You don't really see how they're doing. And when you ask them, they're not going to give you an honest answer anymore, because they tried it in the past and it didn't work, because it was more important to you to make the boss happy and make the boss celebrate. I'm so sorry. This is definitely a reading for people in managing positions, and I know you're doing your very best. You're burning the candle on both ends. You're trying to make one side happy. You're trying to make the other side happy. But what you don't see is that it doesn't work that way. You have to choose sides, and I feel like it's going to be a choice between making sure that a lot of people have their livelihood secured, or making sure that one very rich person is happy. So yeah, I wish you a lot of luck with that. I see all your good intentions. You really want everyone to be happy, and you're trying very hard, and you're burning yourself out in the process. Like, I really see what you're trying to do, But this little devil on your shoulder, he's a menace, and he is making things harder for you. You might also have a romantic tie in all of this that is not giving the best advice possible. With Angela here in the Four of Pentacles, just saying. Not out of a malicious intent, but just out of lack of knowledge. And are still trying to help, and it's not really helping. But yeah, this is what you don't see. I'm so sorry. You don't see that you're burning the candle on both ends, and that it's time to choose sides, and that it's time to choose your fights wisely, because even if you win, you might lose something very precious in the process. This was a very sad career reading. I'm so sorry. This is what the cards have to say. It is less sad and more blunt. It's a very blunt career reading. We asked for what we don't see, right? So I hope you could enjoy the reading. I hope it gave some insights. Please like, follow, subscribe if you feel like doing so, and see you in the extended. If you want to get some more insight, if you want spirit to be more bluntly than they already were, we're going to take a look at what's happening for you in business in the extended of this reading. So if you feel like it, see you over on Patreon, or see you in a different reading. Thank you so very much for being here, and goodbye. And I'm sending you so much love. Welcome in pile number 5. This is the second career pile. You chose the blue spot Jasper. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm going to put your beautiful crystal right here. And I didn't mention it in the intro, I forgot, but you chose the Adventure Time Tarot. So in case you know the television program Adventure Time, this is the tarot deck that you chose. And we're going to take a look at what you don't see when it comes to your career. What don't you see when it comes to your career? I just did the extended of the pile before yours. It was such a beautiful ending. All made sense in the end. I feel very accomplished right now. I'm taking an energy of accomplishment into your reading, and I'm shuffling more times than I normally would. That's interesting. You're doing more than you have to in your job right now. Okay, so let's take a look at what you don't see when it comes to your career. The blue spot Jasper pile. What don't they see when it comes to their career? With the Knight of Coins in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Two of Swords upright, the Knight of Cups upright, and I'll keep on shuffling. We can get some more cards out of this. In the extended, we're gonna use oracle decks as well, but here on YouTube we're gonna stick to tarot. So what don't you see when it comes to your career? Interesting that it doesn't turn around. Okay, so they came out together. I'm gonna read them together. We have the Four of Cups and the Nine of Coins also in the upright. They belong together. That's how I'm gonna read them. When it comes to your job, you are not yet ready to commit, is what I hear. Like a lot of stuff that has happened at work or in your job journey, in your career journey at the moment, a lot has happened that I don't want to say didn't make sense, but that felt a little bit like setbacks. And you're not really ready to commit to any of it. It's kind of like an energy of, okay, this didn't work out, this didn't work out, this doesn't feel right. But when people are like, what is it that you're doing? You don't really want to commit. You're not there yet. You don't feel like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do till the rest of my life, you know? It's kind of like nothing feels, I don't want to say nothing feels right, but nothing feels lasting at the moment. And you kind of have defenses up and you have this blindfold on. You don't really want to look at your job situation at the moment. And you don't want to deal with it at the moment. You kind of feel like it's a problem, and it's a problem that you don't want to deal with. And with the Two of Swords, I always get analysis paralysis energy. You know, someone who doesn't move. Because if you moved, it could be the wrong move, you know? This is kind of the energy that I'm getting. This, if I don't do anything, then I also can't fudge it up. You know, this is the energy that I'm getting here with the Two of Swords. You're in this, you know that you're stuck at the moment, but you're fine with it because as long as you're stuck, you can't do anything wrong, you know? And you're a person who is wonderful to be around, you know? You have a lovely vibe. You just don't know where you fit in. And what you miss is that when you start a new job, you always have this brand new feeling about the job. You always have this, oh my gosh, I learned something new today and I did something new today. But then when you're at the job for longer, this brand new feeling, this rush, this inspiration, it kind of dies down. And that's why you don't want to tie yourself down, because you kind of, you dread this energy to come up again. This, oh my gosh, I've learned it all now. And that's what you don't see. I feel like you saw yourself at the problem, or you saw the job market at the problem. But what you don't see is that neither is the problem. You simply haven't found the right thing yet. I'm sure there is something out there where you can change your routine, or where you have a lot of changes in your routine, or no routine at all, where you have to be on your feet all the time and think on the spot all the time, and where you feel like something is like you really need it, and where it's really, this really needs my brain power, you know? This is how you want to feel. And I think that this is out there, but what you didn't see is that that's what you needed. Maybe you thought that there's something wrong with you because you get bored so quickly, or you thought, oh my gosh, all the jobs are shite. It's kind of like it's either on you or on the jobs, but what you don't see, it's neither. You simply haven't found the right thing yet. You need something that keeps you on your toes all the time. We also have Moon in Cancer energy here, by the way. I definitely want to mention that with the Four of Cups. So definitely take a look at your moon sign or at your Cancer placements. I feel called to tell you this here. You feel like nothing goes your way at the moment, you know? And instead of dwelling on these regrets or on what you perceive as failures, Spirit is like, it would be a little healthier if you change your outlook, you know? Say yes to the world. Take a look at what's out there, because what you need is your job, the one that keeps you on your toes. And there is support in the world available for you. But when you're constantly in this energy of everything sucks and I'm dying is what I hear. When you're constantly in this energy, it's difficult for the world to open up to you and to show you, hey, look, this is perfect for you, you know? And I absolutely love that these two cards belong together, because the Four of Cups is a card that's like everything sucks and I'm dying. And the Nine of Coins is a card that is saying everything is perfect and I can finally get comfortable. So I definitely feel like these two cards belong together, because one is the energy you're in right now and one is the energy that you want to be in. And what you don't see is that it's not an either or. Because I feel like you're too focused on things are either negative or positive. It feels like you have this duality in your mindset. But it doesn't have to be this way. Your perfect job is out there. And you're someone who's very good at managing money and time wisely. And I feel like the second you let go of this trying to make things happen, trying to be perfect, trying to clutch too tightly, you know, the second you let go of that kind of behavior, that's the second where things open up for you. Maybe you have to treat yourself to something. You know, treat yourself to something nice. Buy yourself an ice cream or put on a face mask. You know, something very little. It doesn't have to be expensive. And if you don't want to spend any money, you can just sit down and listen to your favorite song or watch your favorite television program. But it's going to be really helpful for you to let your mind cool down, calm down, and let your mind be happy, even if just for a moment, because that's what's going to bring you out of this analysis paralysis, and that's what's going to bring you closer to, oh, this is what I want to do, you know, because you're really seeking this brand new feeling. You really need that. You have the two of coins on the back of your deck. You're so, oh my God, this is so cute. You're so good at balancing things, and you experience so many busy challenges, and this is what you need. You're someone who loves to remain adaptable and flexible, you know. You need a job that needs your brain power. You cannot sit down and have the same process and the same progress day after day. You're not a cashier. You're not a, you know, the things where everything is the same the whole day. You can't do it. This walking into some place and doing the same over and over, this is not good for your brain. You need something that really is out there, you know. Something, I don't like the way I'm wording it, but I can't think of another word right now, so I'm gonna say it. Something that just a little bit scares you, because it gets you out of this analysis paralysis, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so worried. Am I good enough? Can I do that? Yes, you are good enough, and yes, you can do that. But that's what you need. I feel like you go for jobs that don't scare you, that make you feel comfortable, but then you realize they're bloody boring, and your brain doesn't feel good here. Instead, go for something that's a little bit more out there, a little bit more adventurous, and maybe it even scares you a little bit because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. But once you're in there, you realize, I have to balance 20 things in 1 minute, but I can do that. I'm really good at that. I'm managing things just fine. And for the first time in forever, I came home and I wasn't bored, you know? So I think this is what you need, because what you don't see is it's not on you, and it's not on the jobs you chose. It's just that they weren't for you and you weren't for them. And there's a lot that happened lately, and maybe you even thought you found the right thing, and you're disappointed with yourself because bloody hell, I'm bored again, you know? And you're like, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You're just smarter than you give yourself credit for, and you have a very active and loud mind, and you need more. If it doesn't push you, if it doesn't inspire you, then it's not for you. That's what I hear here for you. What you don't see is that you're meant for bigger and greater things. And it's like you don't trust yourself to be good enough for it, but what you don't see is you are. In the Extended on Patreon, we're going to take a look at what's happening for you in business. So if you would like to stick around, this reading isn't over yet. And we're going to take a look at what's happening for you in business. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm going to be seeing you in the Extended on Patreon or in the next reading. Feel free to choose as many as you like. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's just a click for you, and it means the world to me. Thank you so very much, and see you in your next reading. Goodbye. Welcome in pile number 6, the number of the embodiment of love. I love it. You chose the Carnelian crystal, and pile number 6 is our last career pile. You chose the Pause Tarot, in case you didn't know, and we're going to take a look at your career. This is pile number 6, and it's the third and last pile of the career row. Thank you so very much for being here. So we're gonna get right into shuffling. Just so you know, there is also an extended on Patreon. When it comes to the business row, we're gonna take a look at what's happening for you in the extended. So, what don't you see when it comes to your career? Oh, thank you. That immediately turned around. We have the Two of Wands in reverse. What don't you see? I also always pay attention to how the cards shuffle, and I find it interesting that the Two of Wands in reverse shows itself, but the other two cards don't. So this is something that you really don't see, and this is something where you are seeking confirmation about. So let's keep on shuffling. What don't our Carnelian pile people see when it comes to their career? A bit too much. Let's comprise the message. Thank you. It fell into my lap. What don't you see when it comes to business? Okay. I feel like this card wanted to get in there. We're going to take a look at the back of the deck in a second. But at first, we're going to take a look at the cards that actually wanted to be drawn, the cards that literally flew out. So, we have the King of Wands and the Two of Wands. We're going to take a look at this first because this is something where you're seeking confirmation. Something where you already know, okay, yeah, this is something where I have kind of like a blind spot, but I know about it. And then we're going to turn these around because this is what you really don't see when it comes to your career. You're someone, when it comes to your career, who normally has, my apologies that I worded this way, but this is the way it comes up, who has their shit together. This is your energy. Like, you are very confident in your abilities. You know what you can and what you can't do. And you step up and take control of particular situations where other people are like, oh no, what are we going to do? And you know that you have the skills to be in charge. You know that. But right now you're a little bit indecisive. Right now you don't feel like planning ahead. And I don't know what it is that's holding you back. But even though you know you've got this, and even though you know you have the skills to take care of this, you are kind of indecisive and you're not making any plans right now. It's kind of like this, yeah, the last time where I spoke up or the last time where I stepped up, it went well for everyone but myself. So right now you are kind of in limbo. You're in this decision limbo. You're in this energy of, I know I could, and I know I would succeed if I would, but I'm hanging back a little bit. Maybe this time people can take care of their nonsense themselves. This is what I feel here. So let's turn around the cards. We have a Major Arcana. We have the High Priestess. I know this is cheesy, but anytime I get a Major Arcana in a reading, I'm like, okay, this is a major topic in your life right now. So this is really something that is bugging you right now. We have the High Priestess in upright, we have the Five of Swords in reverse, and we have the King of Cups in upright. I absolutely love that your reading is encapsulated between two kings, between two kings, and in the middle we have a Major Arcana, and then we have two reverse cards. It's kind of like this is a topic, this is a major topic for you, but you're not looking at it. You're not looking at it with open eyes, and you're not looking at it honestly because you don't really want to see what it is that you don't see. And you know you can take control of the situation at any point. It's just right now you are closing your eyes to the situation on purpose because you don't feel like getting to the bottom of this at the moment. You don't feel like taking charge at the moment. You're kind of tired of taking charge. That's what I feel. And I absolutely love, sorry, I burped on our channel. We absolutely love that you have the King of Wands and the King of Cups. You have fire and water. It's a very balanced energy. You know that you're very passionate about this, but you're also very compassionate about this, you know? You are Sorry, the children that play outside are really loud. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, it's better now. There was a child in front of my window having a meltdown because his mother was bringing him home from kindergarten, and I don't know, he had a meltdown. Maybe this is significant to your reading. You feel like you're in kindergarten when you go to work, and you do not want to solve their battles for them at the moment. And I have good news for you. With the Five of Swords in reverse, there is a peaceful resolution. Like, this signifies a peaceful resolution to all of this. And I feel like part of the fact that there is going to be a peaceful resolution to everything is that you are stepping down. You are stepping away from this. You are not solving this for people. And with the King of Cups, I also find this energy in this of you feel comfortable and confident with this decision, that you are letting other people take the lead, take the scepter, take the lead on this. Because it's kind of a feeling of you're in kindergarten. It's kind of a feeling of you always have to take care of everyone, and you have to take care of the situation. And in this particular moment, you will not. You are very confident in the decision that you are going to let people deal with this themselves. And the King of Cups is also someone who's very, very comfortable with their own emotions and very comfortable with what role their own emotions play in the grand scheme. So it's like, you do know that something that hurts you should not hurt the company, It's kind of like you're like, okay, if my feelings are hurt, it's time for me to step down because I don't want this to affect my business decisions. Not everyone is capable of doing that, but you are. So I definitely wanted to mention that. We also have moon energy here with the High Priestess and Cancer energy. And that's an energy of, not everyone will agree with me on that, but it's also an energy of balance and stability. But it is also an energy of loving all your parts, all your sides, your shadow self just as much, your quote unquote weird self just as much as the self that you show to people on a daily basis. You trust your intuition with all of this. You trust your intuition with this decision, and you have your third eye wide open. You have your inner voice and your subconscious mind that are telling you this is the right decision. You are letting people deal with this themselves. You are not their kindergarten teacher. You do not have to step up to the plate this time. I burped so much in this reading. So much channeling going on in this reading. You feel very confident to not plan ahead, to not make plans when it comes to this, and to not take charge, because there will be a peaceful resolution, but you won't be a part of it. You let people take care of this themselves, and you're tired of always having to resolve everything for everyone, and you're not doing it. And on the back of the deck, at the back of the deck, we have the Six of Wands in upright for you. So this is a clear sign that, honestly, when I get the Six of Wands, I'm always like, you've won a big battle. That's the energy of the Six of Wands. Look at you on your horse with your victory wreath, and with all the people holding their wands for you. They're holding them up for you. You will enjoy your rewards that come from letting people resolve this BS themselves. And the reward can look different for everyone. Could be like people look up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, now we understand all the work you always do and how difficult it is to navigate this one particular person, could be that. But could look different for everyone, but you definitely have admiring supporters because people finally see what you always accomplish when you step up to the plate, You will be able, with the Six of Wands, you will be able to enjoy this moment so very much. So it's definitely a good idea that you trusted your intuition, that you trusted in the fact that this will resolve itself, that you're not planning ahead, that you're not trying to solve this, because even though you're a confident leader, even though you're a compassionate leader, even though you could take care of the situation, even though you have everything in your abilities to resolve this, you are a king, completely independent of sex or gender. You have king energy. So even though you know you could deal with this BS, you don't, because it's not it's not your responsibility. People need to take care of themselves at some point in their lives, and you decided this point is now. And that's very it's very smart, and it's also a form of self-care, you know, to step back when you realize this is draining me and I don't even get paid for it, you know. And you will be victorious. You have the 6 of Wands in the back of the deck. This is how this will all resolve. This is how you will feel when this resolves. And I feel like what you see is that you don't want to plan ahead right now. This is what you see. These are the 2 cards that turned around. But what you don't see is what I just told you. These 4 cards here. This is what you didn't see. And it's that it will resolve itself. People will finally appreciate what you've always done all these months, years, depending on how long you already worked there. They will see, oh my gosh, normally you resolve all of this? What the hell? And also what you don't see, very significant, is the High Priestess. You're not entirely sure about your intuition, but I'm telling you, trust your intuition. When something feels right to step away from, it's because it is right. You can fully trust your intuition. You have the High Priestess in upright. You have your third eye wide open, and you're a very intuitive person. So even though you know that you can step up to this, you could solve this, but you just don't feel like planning right now, and you're not entirely sure why, that's because you don't see that intuitively you're in the right all along. You've been in the right all along intuitively. This will resolve on its own. You can lean back. People can handle their own BS, and they will see you. You will be victorious through this. You will be successful through this. They will see you in a different light after this, because finally they had to resolve their BS for themselves, and you, kindergarten teacher, you didn't have to step up and solve everybody's problems. And this will definitely make them see you differently. And they will cheer you on in the future. They will be like, they will see all the times when you stepped up for them in a different light, because they now know what that meant, what you had to do. They will see situations where they were like, oh, this was resolved quickly, so this couldn't have been very difficult. They will see the situations differently, because now they know, well, actually, that's a lot of work. Actually, that's very laborious. And they will get back to you about certain situations, definitely, and they will cheer you on. And I love that at the beginning I said, this is pile number 6, and 6 is a number of the embodiment of love, and then you have the 6 of Wands on the back of the deck. These people, they will love you so very much for everything that you've done for them so far. And I also feel like there might be, because we have a lot of balance in this reading, so there might be a little bit of mirroring and a little bit of comparison even, where they look at the person who's the problem right now. Could be a boss, I'm not sure, not for everyone, but they see you in comparison to the problem. So they definitely see you as the solution. That's also something that I feel here. Thank you so very much for letting me read for you. You got this. Trust your intuition, please. You can feel when it's time to act and when it isn't. And right now it's time to lean back and let people deal with their own BS. Trust your intuition, keep your third eye wide open, and feel free to choose as many other piles as you wish. In the extended, we're going to take a look at what's happening for you in business. So if you want to stick around for that, you're more than welcome to. Feel free to choose as many other piles as you want. And hopefully see you in the extended. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for liking this reading. I appreciate you. Goodbye. Welcome in pile number 7. This is our first what you don't see coming pile. And you chose the Mahogany Jasper. It's beautiful. We're going to put it right here. And the deck you chose, I forgot to name the decks in the intro, my apologies. The deck you chose is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck. So let's take a look after what you don't see in love and what you don't see in career. Let's take a look at what you don't see coming. Third shuffle. So let's take a look at what you don't see coming. Ooh, okay. We have the 3 of Chalices, the 5 of Stakes. What don't you see coming? the Mahogany Jasper pile number 7. Ooh, okay. We have the 4 of stakes in reverse. What don't you see coming? Ooh. We have the 8 of chalices in reverse. What don't you see coming? We have the Page of Scythes. I'm going to put the deck here, and we're also going to take a look at the back of the deck, of course. But first, let's take a look at the cards that came out. So, let me make them look pretty. We are also going to have an extended. In the extended, we're taking a look at your next big blessings. But now let's take a look at what you don't see coming. What I feel here in your reading, sorry, I need to hydrate. Some carrot juice. What I feel in your reading is that what you don't feel coming is a person. We have the 2 of chalices here, and I feel like there is this person incoming that has a lot in common with you. It kind of feels like this person is a little bit of your counterpart, a little bit of a mirroring energy. You might have had a completely different upbringing, but this person is a lot like you. And sometimes when you deal with them, it feels like looking in the mirror, like things that trigger you have the same effect on them, and vice versa. And with this person incoming, you have some conflict coming in. This could be a friendly competition, and it is definitely a competition at work. I don't know why. Maybe this person that is coming into your life is coming into your work situation, but it makes for a challenging work environment, and it could be friendly competition. Again, it could be friendly competition, because I actually, in this reading, I don't feel any malice. There's a lot of conflict in this reading, but I don't feel any ill intentions. So this could be a friendly competition at work, but it makes for a challenging work environment. And I also feel like the both of you have this unwillingness to let go of the past. So maybe you've already known each other, and now they're suddenly working at your company or something like that. Or suddenly working in the same field as you, in case you're self-employed. But what you don't see coming is this person comes in, and there's going to be a lot of competition between the 2 of you, you know. And again, I do feel it's friendly competition for the most of you. I definitely want to, want to repeat that. I want to underline that. Like, I definitely feel friendly competition here. It could make for a challenging work environment, and I do feel that both of you have a little bit of a problem letting go of the past. There might have been things happening that keep coming up, and maybe when you have this challenging, this competition going on between the 2 of you, the silent competition for most of you, it's because old things from the past are coming up, and that's because it is difficult for you to let go. You're also receiving a lot of downloads lately. This might communicate to yourself through having a very full head, your head always feeling heavy, you know that you're not lazy if you need more sleep or anything like that. You're simply receiving many downloads right now. I feel like you have this inherent belief that if you sleep in, that then you're lazy, but no, definitely not, and it's never, and especially not in this case, because you are working through receiving a lot of downloads at the moment, psychic downloads. Also, this person that's coming in, they give a lot of truths that are hard to swallow. They're very blunt, and they give it to you straight, and you might also have some psychic communication happening where you don't even talk to each other, but you look at each other and you're like, oh yeah, I know what they're thinking again. And they're very blunt, they're very straightforward, and it is exhausting for you. And there might have happened something in the past where they maybe gave you their opinion on something in front of the boss, for example, or in front of someone where it was where it felt uncomfortable to you, you know, where you felt ashamed. And the both of you can't really let go of that. There is some instability also. There's a sense of instability here as well, I have to say. Maybe I feel like what you don't see coming isn't only that this person is coming in, but all what this person is bringing. They're either a new colleague, or they are a new person in the field that you work in, or they're a new flatmate, you know, people who share a flat, people who share a home. They're a new person in the house, or they're a new person, the new kid on the block, you know. But you already know them from your past. And could also be if you are in the same job, and you have been for a while now, that their position in the job is now higher up than before. And so the both of you are on the same level now. Like you used to be above them and now you're not anymore. So could also be something like that. But something has changed and has made the situation between the two of you completely new. And you look at them and you see yourself a lot. And instead of that being something uniting, it is something that triggers you. My apology that I use this word so freely. It's not to be used mainstreamly the way I do right now, but I just want you to understand me. It challenges you on a psychological level. When you see this person being so similar to yours, to you, but them not struggling as much as you do. There are so many things that you struggle with that they don't. And it is making you feel uncomfortable. It's because it's making you ask the questions that you should never ask, because we shall not compare ourselves to others. That is always detrimental, but it's like you ask questions like, why can they do that and I cannot? You know, you are comparing yourself to them immediately and constantly. And it is very difficult for you to accept the fact that they are very good at certain things and you are not. You are struggling through things that they are doing so very easily, and it is annoying you. It's like this, so like you see this person, and even though you're so incredibly similar, the first thing that's happening is competition, and it might morph over time from a friendly competition to the both of you having to defend your positions. It's also that when you do something for this person, when you show up for this person, you're waiting for them to celebrate you. You're waiting for them to be grateful. You're waiting for them to have a reaction, you know, a positive one, and they don't, because the reaction they have is there are still 20,000 things on the list that you haven't taken care of. And it's like, it's making you angry. You want to be celebrated. Let's take a look at the back of the deck. And the reason I'm giggling is not, I'm not laughing about any of you. It's just that it's a very sweet energy. The two of you don't even notice how real you are. Like, you're both so real with each other, and you're so angry, and you're so similar. It's incredible. You're Buffy and Faith. You're so similar. You might come from completely different backgrounds. One of you rather, how do you say, rather privileged, you know, maybe white and male or something like that. You know, you might not feel privileged, but the world revolves around you. And the other one maybe not so privileged, you know, coming from a background where they had to deal with a lot of adversity and with a lot of discrimination, but you're both very much the same. And you're even though you come from completely different backgrounds, you're so similar. And if this were a television program, in the third or in the fourth season, the latest, the two of you would have mind-blowing sex. I apologize for saying this. My readings are not for minors, but this is the energy I'm feeling here. If this person is not a love interest, forget about it. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But if this were a television program, this is how Hollywood would resolve it. The two of you would have a mind-blowing affair because there is so much pent-up energy between the two of you, and you're very compatible energy-wise. If right now in your lives, in your bodies, you're like, no, then take what resonates and leave the rest. But energy-wise, you're so compatible. It's incredible. On the back of the deck, we have the 8 of stakes at the back of the deck. This is an energy that is very clearly telling you it's time to stop sitting around and to take action. But what that refers to is, look at all those slayers. These are all the slayers that awaken at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Here's the two of you, and you're so incredibly similar, and you hate it. And there are so many other people in the world who have the same drive as the two of you. I feel like what this is telling you is to stop competing and to start uniting with people who are like you. Putting your ego aside and telling this person, hey, instead of this competition, instead of this inability to let go of the past, instead of this, this energy between the two of you, let's unite, because together we would be unstoppable. Maybe we should both manage this place together, something like that. Because if you constantly are in each other's hair, you waste precious energy that could be better and well spent on whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're working. And together you could move mountains. Together you could really do something. I also feel like one of you is very poetic, like people who like theaters, or people who like musicals, this move mountain sounds like straight out of a musical. What else did I want to say? I find it interesting that you don't see this person coming, because I feel like they're already in your life. But what you don't see coming is not the person, but the connection between the two of you. Because maybe it's always been there, but due to the fact that this person continues to be so blunt and so straightforward, this person keeps on getting under your skin so very much. So what you don't see coming is that, firstly, there is a solution, and secondly, it will get more and more. You maybe after the conflict you had, you thought that this would die down, but it's more of a pent up energy. It's getting more and more. So I feel like this is one of the things that you don't see coming, because there's a lot in your reading that you don't see coming with this person. This person is like the wild card in your career, because I feel like for most of you, this is a career thing. For some of you, this could be a love interest or a friend or a person that lives in your house or in your home, like I said in the beginning. But for the majority of you, I would really say this is a work thing. So what you don't see coming isn't the person per se, but the energy this person brings with them, and the fact that it's so similar to yours. Like I said, if this were like the Vampire Diaries or any of these television programs, you guys would take care of the situation in a different way. In fact, if this were Buffy, the tarot deck that you chose, the both of you would be Buffy and Faith. And I absolutely like that there was a fandom that was shipping the two of them. Because it didn't happen. Like I said, between the two of you, it also very likely is not going to happen. But it would fit so perfectly. If this were the Vampire Diaries, for example, the two of you would be Damon and Enzo. Yes, both came from the same basement where they were tortured, and both handled it differently. And they were practically soulmates. I shipped them. There are so many television programs that if you want a specific television program to be referenced here, put it in the comments and I will tell you which two characters this energy would be. Put any television program and I will let you know.
But yeah, you have chemistry, whether you like it or not, you do, and you would be stronger together. You should work together, not against each other. That's a waste of energy and stamina. um, I can smile through this reading because I don't see anything malicious. This is just two people who don't know what to do with this, with the fact that you're so similar but so different because of how you move in the world. The world will, for example, see an Asian woman different than a white man, you know? So if you could be the exact same energy, but people will treat you differently, and therefore your life will be completely different. So, and I feel like this is something that bugs you. It's like this person is so similar to you, but they had so many different experiences, and now they have insights that you don't have, and it's rubbing you wrong. Is the energy I'm getting. But what you don't see coming is the two of you would be an amazing team. You would be a dream team. All this energy that you use up now, when it comes to this complicated energy between the two of you, could be so much better spent if you worked together. Honestly, I hope that for you guys. Thank you so very much for being here. Please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps the channel. Thank you so very much for those who do. And on Patreon, for this exact same reading, we're going to take a look at your next big blessings when it comes to this. So I'm excited for that. And see you in your next reading. Choose as many piles as you want in case this wasn't your last one. Have fun and see you in your next reading. Goodbye. Welcome in pile number 8. Thank you so very much for being here. You chose the Amethyst pile. And I'm going to put your crystal right here. The deck that you chose, I forgot to mention that in the intro, the deck that you chose is the Supernatural deck. It's from the television program Supernatural. That's the deck that you chose, one of my favorite television programs of all time. And we're going to take a look at what you don't see coming. The first row was what you don't see in love. The second one was what you don't see in your career. And you are in the third row now. And there we're going to take a look at what you don't see coming. So for the Amethyst pile, pile number 8, let's take a look at what you don't see coming. We have the King of Goblets with Garth, one of my favorite characters. So, what you don't see coming. I mean, you never see Garth coming, do you? We have the Three of Cups, then we have the Hermit in reverse, and we have the Four of Swords. Or in this deck, I think they say Four of Blades. And then we have the Three of Bones in reverse. So let me make space. I'm just gonna, if the blades are swords, then the bones are wands. Okay, I was just confused for a second what the bones are, but they are wands. I got it. I know this card is not turned around that yet, but the way cards shuffle and come out, I always make that part of the reading. So we're going to read everything, and then we're going to turn this card around, and then we're going to take a look at the back of the deck. So I'm just quickly going to take a drink, sorry. Some carrot juice. Here's the thing. This reading feels like there are a lot of knots in your mind, and they are opening one after the other. There's a lot of things that are suddenly as clear as day to you, as clear as rain is what I heard, which is wrong, but that's what I heard. So maybe that means something to some of you, but it's suddenly as clear as day to you. And there's a lot that's happening for you. you are celebrating a lot of new connections and a lot of new friendships. Like there's a lot of new people in your life that means something to you. And that after a while of feeling rather lonely, of feeling like a misfit even, feeling kind of lonely and isolated, and especially feeling feeling like you just don't fit in. The word misfit isn't very nice, but it's fitting here. And after having felt this way for a long time, you're now celebrating new friends, you're celebrating new connections, and you're finally allowing yourself to take a break, to have fun, or like Garth on this picture, finally having a beer with the people you love, and you're allowing yourself to recharge. You're allowing yourself to relax, to, close your eyes, take a deep breath. You're allowing yourself to finally do that because you are realizing that you have been stuck in a period of restriction, it's kind of like you have buried yourself in a lot of work because you felt so lonely. You felt like you don't have any friends, you don't have any connections. So instead, you just buried yourself in whatever had to get done. And now that you've made all these new connections, now that you feel like, oh my gosh, I have people I can call again. I have people that I can chat on WhatsApp with and be like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Would you like to go and grab a beer, Now that you have that, you are finally leaving this period of restriction behind, and you reassess your approach when it comes to what you should do with your free time. Maybe working 24/7 isn't very healthy, You're kind of reassessing how you spend your time. You are reassessing how you should treat yourself, and you're realizing that you need more breaks, that you need more time to relax, and that you've kind of forgotten to take care of yourself too. You notice that because the reason you have buried yourself in so much work is because you felt lonely. You felt like a misfit. You felt like, well, what else should I do? I don't have a friend to call, so I'll just do this extra bunch of work that my boss gave me. But now that you have people again, now that you don't feel lonely anymore, now that you have people who care, is what I hear. You've always had people who care, but now you also have the feeling that you have people who care, And what I hear is, now I have people who care, So now that you have that, now that you feel like you have that, you show up for yourself as well again, which is interesting because most people, when new people come in their lives, they try to show up for them. But for you, it signified this realization of, okay, now I can show up for myself more. I find that very interesting. But that's what you don't see coming. These new connections, and the fact that you celebrate these new connections and you can finally go and have a beer with them and you finally don't feel so lonely anymore. The fact that has an impact on your whole life, on your work ethic, on your self-care ethic. This impacts so very much in your life. And even if you haven't watched Supernatural, I want to talk about Garth for a second. He was such a lonely person. And Dean and Sam were his friends, and he always hugged them whether they liked it or not. And in the end, they spoke of him as family. And even though they were hunting monsters, and even though he turned into a werewolf, they still spoke of him as family. And he was a dentist, and Dean even let him take a look at his teeth and take care of his teeth. And he was completely out on medication, so he really trusted him. Like he was unconscious, and he was messing with his teeth. So I don't know. This is like the biggest, trust. How do you say it? The biggest proof of trusting someone, I think. And in the end, he was the one with a family, and he was happy, and he had this beautiful wife, and he had this big family. And Sam and Dean were kind of jealous of him, and I feel like jealous in a good way. They loved him. They said he deserves this, but they also realized we would like this too. And I feel like You might see yourself as a bit of a Garth, you know, like the misfit, the outsider, the person who is rather lonely, but other people look into you and they admire and they envy you. You have more than you think you do. You have someone who loves you, and you have more people who love you. You even have a lovely little, you know, something that you call your family. And people see that and they're very impressed. And like Sam and Dean were with Garth, you know, you're not as lonely as you see yourself. You're like a Garth. You're different, but you're beautiful in this being different. You kind of make yourself smaller than you are. You're not small. Don't make yourself small. What we also have is the 10 of blades. These are bones. These are blades, yes. The 10 of blades in reverse. And we're also going to take a look at the back of the deck. Hold on. We have the 5 of cups. I loved Galadriel in the series so very much. I was feeling so sorry for him. He was always misunderstood. We have the 2 most misunderstood characters on both sides of the reading. And both in the end were redeemed. You know? Believe in yourself and it can happen. And don't listen to the haters. He had so many haters. But he didn't listen and he did the right thing in the end. And I feel like these were your old connections. And letting go of them was very, very healthy. But you lost them. And you're still filled with sadness over it. And honestly, what Spirit is telling you here is that it's okay to feel defeated about this. It's okay to accept your sadness because sadness is part of the process. But with the 10 of Swords in reverse here, you're also asked to not romanticize the past, you know? You let go of these connections for a reason. So a refusal to acknowledge that and this constant romanticizing of what it is that you guys had isn't going to help. The second you acknowledge the past for what it was, the second you acknowledge that this was not good for you and it was healthy for you to let it go, is when you can move on. Because what you don't see coming is a celebration of all these beautiful new connections. There are so many new beautiful people coming in, showing up for you, loving you so very much for who you are, you know? And it will lead to you reevaluating how you spend your time, how you treat yourself, how you self-care, how you have been overworking yourself because you didn't know what else to do, because you didn't know what else to do. There wasn't anyone you could call to go and have a beer with because you let go of all these connections because they were bad for your health. They were bad for your mental health, for your physical health. And romanticizing these connections is kind of like the state you're in right now, but it's not getting you anywhere. So stop to romanticize it. I'm rarely so strict in readings, but stop it. Stop to romanticize it and start to see the past for its truth. And that's when you can then move on and make new connections. And you will have, what you don't see coming is you will have so many new connections to celebrate. The second you see the past for what it was, and the second you let go of it, the second you stop romanticizing it, that's when so many new beautiful connections will come in for you, and it will have you reevaluate how you self-care, how you spend your time. And you will end up spending way more time being kind to your mind than overworking yourself. As you deserve. You deserve being kind to your mind, and you deserve not to spend every free second overworking yourself. In the extended, we're going to take a look at your next big blessings in this particular part of the reading. Thank you so very much for being here. I don't know if you're done or if you're about to choose many more piles. I mean, there are 9. So see you in your next reading, wherever that might be. And thank you so very much for being here. Please comment, please like, please subscribe. It's just one click for you and it makes a big difference to me. And thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate you. See you in the next reading. I celebrate all your new connections with you. And goodbye. Welcome in pile number 9. The malachite pile. You chose this malachite crystal and we're going to put it right here. This is pile number 9. The last pile of this Bandersnatch style reading. You chose the Madhouse Tarot. I forgot to name the tarot decks in the introduction, but you chose the Madhouse Tarot. And we're going to take a look at what you don't see coming. The first row was what you don't see in love. The second one was what you don't see in your career. And now we're in the third row of the readings, reading number 9, and we're taking a look at what you don't see coming. And then in the extended, we're going to take a look at your next big blessings. So let's take a look at what you don't see coming. Pile number 9, the malachite pile. What don't they see coming? What don't they see coming? I also always pay attention to how cards shuffle and to how, sorry, I burped on my channel, to how they present themselves. So if they want to present themselves turned around, if they don't want to show themselves yet, that's okay. That's how I'm gonna read them, and then I'm gonna turn them around. And if they show themselves, then they show themselves. So I take that into consideration. That's why I don't turn them around yet, because they don't want that yet. They're not ready yet. So what don't you see coming? Oh my gosh, he looks like Christian Slater in Mr. Robot. What don't they see coming? Malachite pile. Thank you. There we go. So what you don't see coming is represented by the 9 of Wands in upright, the Knight of Coins in upright, the Tower in reverse, and the Sun in upright. I'm putting the deck here because I love to take a look at the back of the deck at the end of the reading, and that is part of the reading, so that's why the deck is in view. So let's take a look at what you don't see coming. I'm going to take a little drink from my carrot juice because my voice is leaving me. This is reading number 9. So let me quickly take a drink. Okay, what you don't see coming is you are a very solid and dependable person. This could be about your workplace, seeing as we have pentacles here. And there is someone who feels triggered by that. I don't know why, but you are so dependable and you're so reliable. You're so capable. That's the word. You're so capable. And there's someone who is jealous of that. They wish they were as capable as you are. And look at that. They're trying to like, they're egging you on. They're holding this puppet and they're like waving something in front of your face that is supposed to make you crack, that is supposed to make you show your bad side, so to speak, quote unquote. And they're trying to get a rise out of you. I don't know why, but they are, and they're exhausting. It's kind of like you feel this crisis looming. You do feel it. But you're in an energy of you would rather avert this disaster than tapping into it. And Spirit is letting you know that this is not a time for compromise. This is a time for standing your ground. You have a good defense built. You have a lot of good arguments, a lot of good conversation points. You can you can go into this and win, because it's kind of like you'd rather avert this crisis, but Spirit is like, no, it's time to really stand your ground with this. It's important for you because it's going to help you see things in a new way, in a new and beautiful way. Like this is not a bad thing that this happens. I don't get a crisis energy here. It's like, yeah, you want to avert this crisis, but I don't really get a crisis energy here. I more get an energy here of you don't even know what you're capable of. And also, the second you put this person in their place is when they will finally respect you, because you are someone with an admirable attention to detail, and you have an admirable ability to deliver. And it's kind of like when they realize that they have nothing on you, they kind of need this. They need this. And you're not putting them in their place in a rude way. You have a very optimistic kind of way, a very kind but still standing your ground kind of way. And they will respect that. There's some people, they will test our limits until they finally give us their respect. And I feel like this person, what you don't see coming is that they are coming in to really test your limits. I mean, this is such a nuisance energy. I don't feel like they have any, they're not dangerous to you in any kind of way. They're just a little nuisance. Look at them. And they're like playing this puppet in front of your face because they want to bring your little devil out. They want you to come out and play. They want this argument. They want you to get angry. They want to get on your bad side. They want this. And it's like, hey, you're in sun energy. You're a Knight of Pentacles. Like, you can stand your ground. You have a serious work ethic. You're someone who keeps their head down and gets work done. You're someone who gets shit done. And that's something they can't even. They cannot compare with that. So while you're trying to compromise in order to keep this at bay, in order to not make this about yourself, and in order to keep thinking of the big picture while you're trying to do that, Spirit is like, hey, it's really time for you to stand your ground. Tower has Mars and Aries energy. Aries is the first sign. This is about you. You're trying not to make it about yourself, but it is. This person is coming for you and at you specifically. The two cards that didn't turn around are the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Empress in reverse. You have 3 major arcanas in this reading. This is a really major, sorry for this wordplay, for this poor wordplay, but this is a really major situation in your life right now. And you have spent so much time and energy trying to downplay this and trying to be like, oh, it's not as bad as you think. No, it's not bad. But it's time for you to stand your ground. It's time for you to make that person realize, up until here and no further. This person needs boundaries. They are trying so very hard to get a rise out of you. It is time for you to set some healthy boundaries for them. Because when I say they need boundaries, I mean that they need your boundaries. They need to see and to feel that somebody else is setting them a boundary. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse here and the Empress in reverse. What you don't see coming is this turning point where, oh, sorry, I hit the camera. What you don't see coming is this, it's coming in like a wrecking ball. It's this turning point where you set healthy boundaries with this person, where you stand your ground, where you make clear that this is not how things are supposed to be run. And this is an opportunity for a positive change, You can start anew with this person after this. It's kind of like they need, in German we say, in Austrian German, because I don't think they say the same in Germany, but in Austrian German we say that this person needs to get their head washed. You need to cleanse their foggy mind that is full of they can do whatever they want. It's time for you to not compromise anymore and to stand your ground, because you have to defend what you build. And this person, again, I don't feel like this person is dangerous, but this person simply doesn't care. And that's an energy that you don't want to be in after you've built this and after it took you such a long time to build whatever this is. So what you don't see coming is a turning point where you have the opportunity to make positive changes in this connection by standing your ground. You show them up until here and no further, you know. You lost, like with the Empress in reverse, you really lost too much of your own energy by placing too much effort into this person's affairs. We have Venus, Taurus, and Libra energy here, by the way. You put too much energy into trying to downplay what's happening. And this is all energy that you would have better spent on yourself. It's time for you to not downplay the situation anymore. This person is the only one who is how do you say, they are benefiting from it. This person is the only one who benefits from that. They are the only one, and everybody else feels strained. And you have sun energy, you know, you have a very optimistic energy. You have a very happy and kind energy, and you're finally ready to embrace this project, and this person is really shitting on your parade. We have the Hierophant in the upright on the back of the deck. You have so many major arcanas in this reading. It's wild. This is really something that is, I'm so sorry, this sounds cheesy, but it's really something that is a major topic in your life right now. This person is really, really getting under your skin, and you have you have 9 of Wands energy. You have what it takes to not let them do that anymore. You have what it takes. You have the courage it takes to stand your ground. And we have Taurus energy here again. So maybe take a look at your Taurus placements. The Hierophant can speak of the fact that it's time to seek guidance. And this is what I feel here. It's kind of like you don't want to rock the boat, you know, you do not want to rattle this person's cage. And maybe you don't have to do that, but you definitely have to stand your ground. You don't have to attack them, but they have to realize that it's time to stop, to just stop. Like they are too much right now. They are coming at you. They're trying to rile you up. They're trying to get a rise out of you. And it's so disrespectful to everything that you've built. Stand your ground. What you don't see coming is that the second you, firstly, that it's needed for you to stand your ground because you are in this energy. I heard you're laboring under the illusion, but this is so rude. You are in this energy where you think that you can evade this, and where you're like, oh, I don't want to get under their skin. I don't want to antagonize them. So you're just like, yeah, I will just wait for this to blow over, but that's not what this person needs. And what you don't see coming is that it is going to be important, and it is going to be non-negotiable that you stand your ground and that you communicate your boundaries to this person. And it is like your rules, your set of rules. You are communicating it to them, and you need that because this person doesn't let you shine. They're not even raining on your parade, they're shitting on your parade. And you need to shine. You have worked so hard on that. You are a knight of coins. You're not someone anything has been handed to. You worked for it so incredibly hard. And this person is making it very difficult for you to move any further. So while you think you can tiptoe around the subject and you do not have to bring this up, Spirit is like, what you don't see coming is that you really, really do need to bring this up. This is what this person needs. And from that moment on, you can move forward. We have sun energy here. We have the Tao in reverse. We do not have this end of the world situation that you worry about the second you stand your ground. This is good. This person needs that and you need that. You might not see it coming, which is the whole point of this reading, but the both of you need that. Stand your ground, set healthy boundaries, and tell this person up until here and no further. No, senor. Tell them. In the extended on Patreon, we're going to take a look at your next big blessings when it comes to this. So after you stood your ground with this person, what are your next big blessings that are coming in? So see you in this reading next. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for attending this Bandersnatch style of readings where we hop from one to the next. 9 big readings connected with each other. Thank you for being here for that. If you feel like it, leave me a subscribe and a like. It's just a click for you and it means a big difference to me. You can also leave me a comment anytime. You can book personal readings with me on my Etsy shop. The links are all below. Thank you so much for being here and hopefully see you in the extended. Bye.